week 7, almost to midterm. And this is day 13. It's Tuesday, 10/9/18, and introduction to programming. Talked about some course things, went through the structures, developed or talked about the last structure that we're going to talk about, case structures. Talked a little bit about assignments 1 through 4. Students need to be getting the code done and resubmitting, so I know that they're ready for me to check the code. And we used assignment 5 cases, returning cases. We started that in class, so students should get a good start. And then they had plenty of time to do some peer review. Sequence. A couple things that we talked about. These particular boxes, one in, one out. Start stop, it's either one out or one in, one out, and processing. Printing, one in, one out, and that really doesn't change. Okay, so we got input output box, processing box. This would be a terminal or end, this would be a start or beginning, and here we have initialization. Sequence occurs probably in all the different structures, but we're just showing you the box. And remember those rules. If you got a process box, if you have a process box, one in, one out, that is it. Same thing's true with our structures. If we're looking at a structure, one into this structure, one out, and always use a connector. List whether it's true or false up here. Don't put it in a box and then we can do whatever work we need to do, but this structure has to come back together here. So this is a conditional. Then we had a leading decision here. Okay, it's kind of the same thing. We make a decision here. If it's true, we keep doing this. We keep coming around to the connector. If it's false, we get out. Okay, this diamond shape, oops, this diamond shape, right, we have into it, we have 2 out, and in this case with the connectors here. So I drew the pseudocode up here. I could have been a little straighter, so we say these should all be right next to each other. If, then we indent, else, we indent, and then diff. Don't be going if, then, and putting a whole bunch of stuff here. No, put the true stuff here and the false stuff here. That makes sense? Here's your else and if. Do while is even easier. As long as this is true, it's going to keep doing the loop until it becomes false, and then it's going to go from here. So this is like the true area, and that's like the false area. Nested ifs. We have a conditional and a conditional. So we have this cases problem in which here's a little bit of a legend. We're going to input, somewhere's up here we inputted cases, and I checked, is cases greater than 10? If that's true, then I checked cases less than 20, then we pay back 8. If this is false, then we know we're paying them 5 per case. And if this one's true and this one's false, then it must be over 20, and we pay them the 10. So what we do is we assign these values depending on the structure. Now if you look here, this structure comes back together with a connector. This structure comes back together with a connector. And then we go on in our program. So you could use this structure in working with assignment 5. So here we go. We have, let me use a different color here. So we have if some condition, then this is if it's true, like up here. And we do another if, and here's the true part, else the false part, end if. So like that, right there. Else, and if. And we do, right? So here's the false part here. So our work right here would be right here. And that'd be indented. And then this end if matches that one. Yeah, if you could follow all that. We just nest them in. You could nest more of them in there. Or, let's finish up here with our case structure. Let's take a look at that. Here, our last structure is a case structure. We have an operational code, sometimes called an op code. So somewhere you would input a value, and when it gets here, whatever that value is going to make it determine which of these it will do. And then the other is if none of them are true, then it's going to do the other. And then these link back together. So one in, one out of our structure. These can be numbers. These can be numbers. That's our case. We'll probably use numbers in our examples, but they could be letters. They could be words. And so when the opcode looks, it's going to try to find a match. If it doesn't find a match, it does the last other. We can do something similar in Python that we'll cover on Thursday. An else if. So we come in, so if this is an if it's true here, else if will go here, here's the else if. And so we can build using else if a similar scenario as case structure. I did a bash script example, and it's called I think it's called like something like case underscore, I think assignment 6 or something. I put that in the group directory so you can take a look at it. We're not going to do any of this work in bash, but it would be a good example to go look at. Alright, so we have these particular things. We can use nested ifs. In some languages you can use a case structure to determine what you want to do, or we can use an else if like in Python and organize our thoughts that way. Okay, this is now that we've covered the basics, we pretty much set on basics up to midterm. The students have the quiz. If you remember, you're supposed to have the quiz done by Wednesday night this week. The next quiz on conditionals. Alright, I guess that's it.